Hello, it's Christy Gray, your newest hype girl and astrologer. Welcome to the Cosmic Hotline.
Hello, my loves. This week's episode is a little different as I'm here with an announcement. If you've been following along on socials, you may have seen me allude to a few changes happening in my life. I'm definitely in my high vibing and thriving era, and all of the energy that was transpiring while I was in Bali has definitely come back here to my home on the Gold Coast. I've definitely received a few DMs though from people that tune into the Cosmic Hotline and also my friends going, "What are you doing next, Christy?" And I wanted to take you back a few years because back on October the 11th, 2018, auspiciously at 11:11 a.m. is when I first launched Christy Gray. And it's definitely been a whirlwind of growth, expansion, lessons, and everything in between. I'm the person that's sitting in front of you today because of all of it. And this has definitely been my greatest achievement to date. And I couldn't be prouder of everything that I've created, every interaction that I've had, and where I'm at today. And if we've connected in an astrology session before, or we may have had a business conversation in passing, no doubt you've heard me talk about building an ecosystem. Now, what building an ecosystem includes is making sure you have everything in your life that you love and how you can factor that into your business or your day. But just ensuring that everything makes sense and it aligns with each other, and especially when you're working towards your future vision. Now, I'll use one example of this. I love all forms of communication. So, writing, speaking, teaching, and also podcasting. And how that's shown up throughout all of my life. And I can thank my Mercury, which rules communication in my second house, is I used to do a lot of speaking and facilitation back in my learning and development career. That's also a big piece of the work I do today because essentially I'm a translator for your stars. I love empowering and sharing knowledge and wisdom through Instagram, the podcast, so the Cosmic Hotline, sharing my thoughts and ideas with you. And obviously, writing's a big piece of that puzzle too, whether I'm writing for media or brands or I'm working on my book. Now, because I love all forms of communication, for me, I first started podcasting back in 2019 to celebrate the brand at the time turning one. And it was really interesting for me because I actually started the podcast as a creative pursuit. I was craving connection, I wanted to do something differently, and I wanted to try my hand at podcasting. And since then, between the chapter that was Christy Unedited and then became the Cosmic Hotline, I've recorded over 180 episodes and I've shown up every single week for almost 4 years, which is so crazy to think. It's such a lot of recording, editing, scheduling, you name it, because I've been the person hands on deck that entire time. I've learned a lot about myself throughout this entire process, and I've loved nothing more than being able to share my thoughts with you, have some of you appear on the Cosmic Hotline, open up these conversations, and I love nothing more than when I get a DM or a message saying, "Oh my God, I found you through the Cosmic Hotline," or "I loved your thoughts on this week's episode," and I'm feeling that in my life too. And so I wanted to say a really big thank you to you for tuning in every single week because this podcast would not be the same without you. The one thing, though, that I've learned recently is that you can't give 110% to everything. If you want to live a high vibrational life, I think that life tends to be lived in seasons. And for me, I'm really wanting to make sure that I continue to grow as an astrologer and I continue to connect with each of you and I continue to develop my writing. But I also am dating again. I'm focusing on my health and well-being even more than pre-Bali. I'm already planning my next trip overseas as well. And that has really made me realize that prior to going away, which, I hadn't actually like been away and done something for myself in like almost 5 years, which I'm so embarrassed to even say. But before that, I used to make it a priority to, do all these really exciting things and to prioritize other aspects of my life. And I've been in this little business bubble, I call it. And I'm really lucky. I have a super small team and they help me get projects off the ground. And especially when it comes to dropping aspirational and thought provoking astrology. And we're always looking for ways that we can drop that in different ways, whether I'm coming on here and podcasting every week or with our monthly email or dropping content on the gram. Like there's so many different touch points that actually occur in the business. And of course, there's like media and brands that I work with too. And yeah, there's just a wide variety of ways that I love being able to share astrology content with you. But as always, I'm really big on don't anticipate a transit, participate in your life, meaning you have to go out and make your dreams a reality. It's really important that you don't allow the stars to dictate your future, but instead you help them to shape it. And how that's showing up for me at the moment is I'm actually in anticipation of a few things on the horizon, but I'll give you insight as to what's happening right now. So last week, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, it just entered my ninth house. And the ninth house not only is spirituality, higher education, it also rules publishing. My progressed moon, which is a big piece of your personal horoscope when you're forecasting and you're trying to understand what's the astrological cycle that you're in, but more importantly, how do you feel about it? Well, my progressed moon, it moved into the second house not that long ago, but it has just come in conjunct my natal Mercury. And that actually only happened as a direct hit yesterday. It's been like applying since I've been away. And so that really speaks to how I'm ramping up using my voice. What am I doing for different ways I'm communicating? And these opportunities to make a few small tweaks to my commitments because it's in the second house. And it's also going to change sides in a couple of months, but I'll definitely keep you up to date with what is happening on the gram. But I wanted to kind of share with you today that this isn't a goodbye, it's a see you soon. I'm not retiring the podcast or archiving the Cosmic Hotline. And I love the community that we've built on the Cosmic Hotline. I'm so proud of it. And I have shared before, like this podcast will be standing long after I'm gone. Instead, I'm taking a back seat. And I think sometimes you have to take a step back to step forward. If I'm going to write a best-selling and downright delicious astrology book, I would be so ignorant to think I could still give 110% here too. There's so many luscious things I'm working on for you behind the scenes. And to be honest, I'm so damn excited. So this is my reminder for you too, as this is very much a written in the stars moment. And not just because we have a Gemini new moon on the horizon. I mentioned in last week's episode, I've been feeling this combination of Jupiter's move into Taurus and Saturn's transit into Pisces. And Jupiter is now applying Saturn in a sextile aspect. And because of this combination, there's a few themes this cosmic connection represents. And guess what? It wouldn't be a Cosmic Hotline episode if I didn't leave you with a few key points that I'd love you to explore, which is what I've been exploring too. And these are the 4 points that the energy right now really encapsulates. Number 1 is expansion and stability, because this aspect suggests a balance between growth and stability. It indicates opportunities for you to grow and expand in a really grounded and structured manner. So think about, how do you envision finding stability while pursuing your goals and ambitions? Number 2 is practicality and optimism. With Jupiter moving into Taurus, there's this real practical and down to earth energy for the next 12 months, while Saturn in Pisces as it adds a touch of idealism. So how can you combine practicality and optimism in your approach to achieving your goals. That kind of led me to that point before. Like sometimes you've got to take a step back to move forward. Next up is material and spiritual abundance. And I feel like we've all been really working towards this year, because this sextile highlights the potential to find abundance, but not only in that material realm, but also through spiritual and intuitive pursuits. So how can you cultivate a balance between material wealth and spiritual fulfillment in your life? And lastly, would be discipline and patience, because the ruler of time, the taskmaster of the zodiac, Saturn always brings with it discipline and responsibility, while Jupiter adds like this, oh my goodness, it's like this enthusiasm and desire for growth. So my question for you is how can you utilize discipline and patience to support your enthusiasm and ensure steady progress towards your long-term goals? I hope that those insights, astrologically speaking, give you a greater perspective of what I'm leaning into and how I can continue to build and contribute to this like magical and celestial ecosystem that I have in my life, but I'm also continuing to build. So on that note, I'm over and out, babes. The Cosmic Hotline has, and I reckon, I'm a little biased, is the hottest hotline in town. And when I decide to pick up the receiver again, you'll be the first to know, and it will be well and truly reimagined. So until then, keep exploring the stars within and without, babes.